Hi, my name is Sarah Rosenbaum from Cochrane, Norway, and I'll be talking about ensuring transparency and building trust when disseminating findings from Cochrane reviews. A well-done systematic review is usually a more reliable source of effectiveness evidence than a single study, and should command more trust. But many people don't understand the difference between systematic reviews and single studies. And even when they do, they might not be aware that your dissemination product presents the findings of a systematic review rather than a single study. There's some basic things you can try to always do that can help people who are unfamiliar with the concept of a systematic review. First, remember to state that the findings are from a systematic review. If you have space, you could include a short description of what that means, like in this example. In the checklist, you can find more examples of brief ways of describing a systematic review. Also, you should refer to the number of included studies in the review, since this helps support people's understanding about how a systematic review differs from a single study. This strategy can also be useful for more expert readers who could be actively looking for that information. People both want to and need to know how up-to-date the evidence is. So, at a minimum, you need to include the publication year of the review that you're reporting on. Probably the most precise way to indicate how up-to-date a review is to state the date of the most recent search for studies. However, you need to consider your target audience, as the publication year may be easier to understand by people who are unfamiliar with systematic review methodology. For transparency, people need to be able to see who produced the information, both the review and the dissemination product. And knowing that the information comes from a Cochrane review can increase its trustworthiness. You should always visually label your dissemination as coming from Cochrane by using the Cochrane logo or the logo from your entity or review group. You can strengthen this visual connection by using the tagline, the colors, and the fonts specified in the brand guidance. The easiest way to find these are just to search for Cochrane brand guidelines. But not all people are familiar with Cochrane. Some people might think Cochrane is a commercial company or an extension of the government, and this might impact their sense of trust. So it may be important to emphasize that Cochrane is an independent, non-governmental, not-for-profit organization. Also, you might consider collaborating with other individuals or organizations that your target audience is familiar with and perceives as trustworthy when planning dissemination output. For reasons of transparency, your target audience should also be able to find information about who the review authors are, how the review was funded, and if the authors have any conflicts of interest. At a minimum, provide the access to this information, for instance, through a link to the review. You might also consider including a link to Cochrane's conflict of interest policy. When it comes to information about funding or conflict of interest, not all people want this level of detail, and it might also depend on the review you're reporting on, whether you anticipate controversy around these issues. In any case, this kind of information should be easy to find for those who do want it. Making information easily accessible is an important part of building trust. This video is one of a series of videos that are based on the Cochrane Dissemination Checklist. The easiest way to find the checklist is to search for it online. Thanks for watching.